Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Amita, a DevOps engineer and AWS community builder in a containers category. In this video, we are going to learn how we can deploy our application to the AWS Amplify, whether it is a web application or a mobile apps. Here we get everything that we need to build and deploy our application, where it is easy to start and easy to scale our application, where we can ship full stack apps faster. It is quite similar to Vercel and the Netlify and other deployment platform. So in this video, we are going to deploy one application over the AWS Amplify, and we will see the entire workflow, how you can also deploy your application from GitHub to the AWS Amplify without doing anything. It is also going to manage your CI/CD where you can deploy your application. So without any delay, let's get started. So let's understand first what is AWS Amplify is, where we can deploy our full stack application or a mobile application just from the sources like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket or S3. So it works with the frameworks that we know: React, Next.js, the white, JavaScript, Flutter, and we can develop our application faster, and it is automatically deployed with a CI/CD. So it will continuously integrate from the sources and deploy to AWS Amplify. So we have several sources like a GitHub, a Bitbucket, GitLab S3, and where we have the branches in our repository, and where the AWS Amplify ship the application with the URL also. So we can deploy our full stack application here. And if we have to read the documentation, you can click on this. So you will get a what is AWS Amplify? Amplify hosting provides a Git-based workflow for hosting a full stack application, whether it is a serverless web application with the continuous deployment. So it provides the continuous delivery or a deployment. And Amplify deploys your app to the AWS Global Content Delivery Network (CDN), and that gives you the URL also. So you can provide the URL to anyone from the world to visit your application. This user guide will provide all the details. So supported framework is the Next.js, Next, and the React, Angular, Vue.js, and there is a lot more framework are supported in the Amplify. And the features are we can have multiple branches. Their staging, production, and deploy the application of the repository. We can add our custom domain through the Route 53. So we can manage the custom domain also. We can review the pull request, end-to-end testing we can even perform. And there is a password protected branches also that we can enable in the AWS Amplify, and redirects and rewrites to the multiple SEO ranking and the route traffic based on your client application requirements and the atomic deployments. And if we have to start with the AWS Amplify, you can now watch this video. So firstly, search the AWS Amplify. So this is the AWS service, and you can deploy your application. So I have this repository hosted on and like pushed on the GitHub, and it is look like this. So this is made up from the train that you maybe got in Instagram Reels. So it is made for the 90s or 2000 school nostalgia. Nostalgia. It is made for 90s and 2000 school persons, so they can relieve their memory. So you can see this is the sounds. Maybe you can hear or not. So this is the school bell. So Yadogi classroom, Backbench AI, where you can relieve your memory. So, what school memory do you still remember? So you can accordingly check or write by own. So it is behindly using the AWS Bedrock model, maybe Noah model that is configured. So it will push the event, and accordingly it will generate the response where you can get the, like, suppose if I write my first crush, so you can relieve your memory. So you can see there is a four responses it generates. First is a school diary, second is a teacher remark on it, and the school magazine and the Bollywood scene on this your my first crush. So you can see Today, during fifth period science class, the monsoon rain was pounding and hard against the wooden windows. I had written her names with a compass on the corner of the back desk last Tuesday. So you can get your memory relief. And if you check the teacher remark, there is like a verified and signed response. And this is just a sample demo name, not anyone is written here. And you can see this is how the magazine also look from a sample schools, and the clear formatting and the return. So based on the my first crush, you can try it out. I will provide the URL also. And there is a Bollywood scene, Pehla Nasha. So maybe someone relate to it. So there is a hero. Can I borrow your eraser just for a 2 seconds? So you asked your crush for the eraser. So the crush shade. Uh, so the crush shared that here, but don't lose it like last time. पहले की तरह मत भूल जाना एंड कहीं पे लूज मत कर देना एंड द बेस्ट फ्रेंड फ्रॉम योर आई मीन योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड आई मीन योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड said this line, so you can relate to this maybe. किसी ने तो बोला ही होगा. And strict teacher comes and said 0 marks in surprise test for both backbenchers stand up on the bench. So you can generate the Bollywood scene also for your reliving your another memory. You can click on this. So accordingly you can use this application. So we are going to deploy this application over the AWS Amplify. So for that we click on deploy an application, and there is 4 steps to deploy the application where you have hosted your code base. So I have hosted our code base on the GitHub. So this is the GitHub repository. So I will not copy this. I will let you know this step. So I will just select the GitHub. If it is a Bitbucket, I will select the Bitbucket. If a code commit, AWS code commit, then I will use the code commit, either a GitLab. And even we can deploy with the Git also with a manually or from S3 or a zip file. So there is a template also you can select, but I will just go through the GitHub and click on next. So it will authenticate with the GitHubs, like it requires access for the repository inside your GitHub. So I will just authorize it, and once it is authorized, I will select this repository that is needed. So I am have the repository, only select the repository. So I will just select this repository, and I'm not providing access to all repository to the AWS Amplify. So once it is approved, we can select this repository, Backbench AI. You can see Backbench AI, and you can select the branch. So I'm going to use the main branch and click on next. And you can see it is detecting that it is a Next.js framework. It is a like built on the Node.js application. So it is automatically gonna detect your framework, and accordingly it will write the front end build command and the output directory. You can even modify via the edit YAML file. And there is one advanced setting I want to show you, that you can manage the instance type where the application is going to deploy. So these all are serverless. You can see the EC2 instance behind it, which is means the servers are managed by AWS, not by you. You can select the build image according to you, and you can provide the environment variable. So this application requires the environment variable like this. So we need to provide the access key, ID, region, and the model that is going to use. So firstly, let's add this model ID. So you can see how you can add environment variable also. So I will just add the environment variables, and now we need IAM. I mean IAM credential. So I will use the IAM credential. First I have to generate. So I will select the Backbench AI, go to security credential, and I will create one access key ID, and I will just generate it. You can see it is generated. Now I need to provide access key ID. Go here, add a new environment variable, and then go here, copy from here, So I will delete this secrets after uploading this video. So do not try at your end to access my account. And now we need this. You can even modify after deploying your environment variable if you want to change the API keys and any secret that you want to provide to your application. So you can accordingly modify it. And why we are starting the environment variable with the Bedrock, not with the AWS, because it is not going to use the AWS started keywords. It is restricted to use in this AWS Amplify. So it should not start with the AWS. So I hope you understand why we are using Bedrock instead of AWS. So this error I have faced. That's why I'm illustrating to you all. And you can enable the cookies for cache key, but for now I will just click on next. Now we have the last stage, which is the review. You can verify this is the repository service, the GitHub branch, and the repository is this, and the app setting name will be this, build command will be this, Next.js is the framework, and these are all the environment variables. And we can simply click on save and deploy, and it will take hardly 1 minute, and it will deploy our application, as it also comes with a continuous deployment. So whenever you push changes to this repository, so it will automatically going to push or trigger the AWS Amplify to deploy the application again. So you can manage several deployment, and based on the commit made on this repository on your GitHub account or a repository. So now you can add a production made it like a production application through adding a custom domain, enable the firewall protection, so you can manage several things. You can even connect multiple branches and deploy the application in multiple environments. So for deploying with a custom domain, you need to first add a domain. So you should have the domain on your AWS Route 53. Then you can attach it and accordingly use it. If you don't know how you can attach a hosted zone in a AWS Route 53, you can watch my previous videos related to it. So it should be registered a domain on the AWS Route 53. So you can even use your existing domain via creating the hosted zone. So watch my previous videos, I will provide in the description. And now we have this enable firewall. After, you can use the AWS WAF for the bot protection or DDoS protection. So you can enable this, and if we see the hosting, we can access the control of the publicly visible or the manageable access. We can hide for the password required for this application. Accordingly you can use it. So it will ask for the username and the password. If you want to just provide internally, there is a build notification, and you can say this is the YAML. So it will kind of our service that will deploy our application. And we have the custom domain you can manage, and you can see all the environment variables in environments. You can manage the firewalls. You can see the previews of your branches, rewrites and redirects. You can define the directs and redirects for this application. You can even add a secrets that is do not have to expose to the external world. So we have the monitoring. We can see the logs, whatever happening inside our application, that you can use for multiple purposes. You can see all the logs are stored in this access log monitoring. We can even create an alarm for multiple things. And we have hosting compute log. You can check the logs, and there is a matrix you can get from your application. If we go to the app settings, you can see the general settings, the name and the related things. You can even delete from app from here. And there is a branch setting. You can add multiple branches and enable the branch settings. And if there is an IAM role needed, you can create an IAM role and accordingly manage it. So it is a service role directly attached to the AWS Amplify for providing the uh, multiple permissions to AWS Amplify. So you can see the AWS has deployed our application from the GitHub to the AWS Amplify. If we go to this URL, you can see this is deployed, and our application is with SSL. You can see connection is secure, so you can provide this URL to anyone that is going to work in incognito also. If I have to show, you can see this is the sound you can manage. You can increase or decrease the volume. And if I have to try again this application, you can even also try it out. I will provide the URL. Relive your school memory. I would say sharing lunch back before the third period. You can even write by own. So you can see there is one school diary has been generated for the sharing lunch boxes before the third period. So the PT masters, Vishal and Sunshine. Seventh period was PT. As soon as bell rang, the entire class bottled down and stayed like a stampede. And the captain Shina sir below his silver whistle and shouted, "Egg to egg." Attention stand at is, so you can generate and relieve your memory. There is a teacher remark, school magazine, and there is a Bollywood scene, Lagan to PT ground battle. So it is was generated by the AI. It has a fallback mechanism. If AI doesn't work, it will use the mechanized code to generate these responses. So I hope you understand how you can deploy a application, any application over the AWS Amplify. And now if I have to delete, I will go to the general settings and delete this application. And once the application is deleted, even you can manage your continuous deployments. Whenever you push the changes to the repository, it is going to detect trigger the AWS Amplify for continuous deployment. So this is what all about the AWS Amplify that I want to share with you all. And I hope you understand how you can deploy any application to the AWS Amplify with just a simple steps. You can start with the template also, just previous steps. So I hope you learned something new in this video. That's all for this video. Jai Hind. Bye.